that's good. I cracked myself up. Still haven't found my first Blanton's. That's different. I really like that. They're like together, like peas and carrots. That's funny. Sometimes accidents are good things. Peychauds or Pechauds or Pechaw. This is not what I expected. And happy Thanksgiving. It is Bourbcast night. It's Thursday. I'm a little late, and it's funny. It's really funny. We got done with dinner, and people scattered and did whatever, and I got looking at the clock, and I thought, gosh, I think it's too early to start drinking on Drinksgiving, right? And I just completely, absolutely spaced. It must have been, I think it was 5:30 or so, and I just didn't put two and two together. So here we are. We're very late. I apologize for that. But it's funny because I sat down and the kids left, right? So I got the house to myself. I thought, I'm going to play a little music. Because I play bass. Not very well, but I play bass. And so I started playing. And I played and I played and I played and I played and I played. And hours later, I decided, I was done. And then somebody texted me and asked who I'm drinking with tomorrow night on Drinksgiving. And I'm like, God, I forgot the Bourbcast. Okay. I can't see it. I tried to open it up without glasses on, and that's just foolhardy. Foolhardy, I say. I'm going to have to rip this. It is not. There we go. Nope. It went back in. It wants to stay there. So this is Old Elk. This is the Sour Mash Reserve Small Batch. They've got different mash bills that they do this with, and I'll get into that here. Old Elk, of course, out of Fort Collins, Colorado. Known for taking weeks to proof their products down instead of days. Most products that have been proofed as water added do it in 24 to 48 hours. They do it slow. Proofing heats up the liquids, so doing it slowly helps keep the liquids cooler and potentially can help keep flavor from evaporating in the process. I like Old Elk. What is on my glass? I just cleaned this. Probably Schmudge from Thanksgiving. Hey, Luke. How are you? Happy Thanksgiving, Luke. I had to get the smudge. All right. We do not do smudgies on Thanksgiving Bourbcasts. All right. So, Greg Metzke spent 38 years with MGP Seagrams, including being the master distiller. He left in 2016 to become the master distiller for Old Elk. Many of the products produced by Old Elk are still sourced by MGP, and some have a special mash bill. This is one of those that has a special mash bill. Kurt Richardson, and we've talked about this before, the founder of Old Elk also started Otterbox. So it's Otterbox that makes these cork toppers for Old Elk. So if you ever want a cork topper that is virtually indestructible, Old Elk. Okay. So this is a Sour Mash Reserve Batch series. It's a nod to the brand's startup roots, inspired to craft remarkably smooth and innovative whiskeys that transcend tradition. This comes off their website. Actually, I think this comes off of OHLQ website. Old Elk took its award-winning flagship. Thank you, Luke. Happy Turkey Day to you. Old Elk took its award-winning flagship high-malt mash bill, and began to explore what would change when experimenting with a different yeast. So the robust foundation of the liquid, I hate it when they call it that. Liquid. Bah. Very appetizing. It anchors the heady complexities from the unique yeast. The result is a 12-batch release, with each batch consisting of a 30-barrel small batch blend. It's aged 6 years, 52.55 alcohol by volume. It's 105 proof. The mash bill on it is 51% corn, 34% malted barley, and 15% rye. So this is not a high rye. It is a very high malted barley, but this is their high barley or high malt mash bill. So this should be very interesting. This is the first crack of this. I've never had this before. By the way, for those of you who are here, there's going to be, and I'll leave it up. I'll leave it up, the video. So people who've joined us later because they're not watching tonight, which is fine. We're late. It's Thanksgiving. You're probably in a food coma or watching a game or something. So if you happen to be with us, great. Stick around because there's going to be your opportunity to vote on what next week's pour is going to be. And again, I'm going to give it some time. I won't reveal what it is until next Thursday when we do the Bourbcast. But all week, people will get to vote. I'll give you a couple choices. You get to vote. Okay. All right. Stay. All right. So let's give it some schnoz. Caramel right off the top. Or caramel, if you have a degree. I cannot believe I almost forgot the Bourbcast. Yeah, so some black cherry. It's Thursday. This is what I look forward to. Jeepers creepers. There's some cereals in there. Yeah, almost. Boy, it's tough. It's like a granola in there. It's kind of hidden behind the caramel and the vanilla. Not particularly oaky. There's some there, but it's kind of hiding behind everything else. All right. Excuse me. I had a sneezing fit before we started, and I think it's got me churning up my schvilkes and my schkenecticazoink. All right. $105 proof. Drinks about like that. Drinks about like 105 proof. I'm feeling it going down the gullet. Whew. It's warm. But it's not blow your head off hot either. It's all right. Excuse me. Goodness gracious. So the cereals are what I'm getting on the palate. That was real quick. So I'm kind of going off the finish of that. So let me just see if I can give it a good tasting. I didn't even let it sit in my palate for very long. So let me go back to square one. Back to one. Okay, here we go. Okay, it's got a real nice mouthfeel. It's not thin at all. Maybe a little on the buttery side, but not overly so. I wouldn't say it's overly viscous. There's some that I've had that are just, like the unfiltered ones that tend to be a little more viscous, and I like those. This one is just fine, though. It's got a great mouthfeel to it. Again, the proof is not real super hot at 105. The Old Elk does have a tendency sometimes to get a little on the warm side, and this one is not. Not bad at all. It's a pleasurable experience drinking it. All right. Okay, let me see if I can get you some flavors now. I had that sneezing fit. I'm just kind of waiting for for everything to clear out again, and it's not doing it. So I may just be a little bit off, but I'm going to do my best. All right. I had people, they said, Why don't you do wild turkey for Thanksgiving? Go back and look a year ago. I did wild turkey 101, bourbon and rye last year for Thanksgiving. So, I'm with you. I'm with you. Just a year ago. All right. Excuse me. Okay, so one of the things about malted barley is it lends itself to a nuttiness, right? So you can, the malted barley can enhance some of the fruit flavors. It can also enhance some of the nutty flavors. I'm getting less fruit on the palate here and more nut. Maybe let's find it. Let's find it on the bourbon wheel. I will bring it up so you can see the flavor wheel as well. All right, so I'm looking in the grains area where it has rye, malt, cereal, and cocoa. I am definitely getting that cereal. There's a little bit of the vanilla there, of course the caramel, so that's the sweet aromatics there. Not getting butterscotch, honey, maple syrup, any of that stuff, but yes, some caramel, and yes, on the vanilla. No on the black pepper, clove, cinnamon, yes, into the spice area. Really about it through there. If we're looking into the fruits, again on the palate, I'm not getting a lot. There might be, I see apricot there. I don't, no, I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think there's any fruit and floral on the palate. I got a little of that black cherry on the nose, but on the palate, not so much. Moving back around into the wood, so there's nut, there's walnut, almond, and pecan. So that's a possibility. Let's bring it back. Excuse me. So I want to say actually just walnut probably. I'm going to go walnut because almonds are nuttier tasting than walnuts, and pecan is a dirty tasting nut. So I'm kind of in that. I'm going to say walnut. So if you were to make it a cocktail and you had the black walnut bitters, that might be a good choice for you. All right. So that's what I'm getting off the palate. The excuse me. The finish is just an elongated sense of palate. I'm not getting anything. Okay, now that I thought about it, I got a little bit of bubble gum on that finish, just a little bit. Some cinnamon, that nut, that walnut. No fruit. That cereal's still sticking around a little bit. Yeah, it's a nice pour. It's not going to be one of my top fives. I love Old Elk. I mean, there's a lot of stuff from Old Elk I really, really enjoy. The wheated whiskey is fantastic. I love the rum cask. This one is good. It's not blowing me away, but it's good. This is one I could drink and enjoy. But it's not one I'm going to save and say, oh, you got to try this. No. Nope. Not really. Okay. There is something succulent there. Looking at that flavor wheel again. I'm going to say that I got a little chocolate on there. Like it's not a sweet chocolate. It's not a milk chocolate. It's not one that. It's not a Tootsie Roll. It's like a really dark, almost a bitter chocolate that would go more in that savory realm. Maybe just a little of that on that last pour. All right, put some water on it. Just a couple drops. There we go. Just open it up a little bit. We'll give it some ice here in a minute. And again, we're going to be doing voting here in a minute. I know you've had enough voting, right? You're done. I get it. This will be fun voting, I promise. And I don't think there'll be any fighting, and I don't think there'll be any name calling, and I don't. This will be fun voting. You get to tell me what we're gonna drink. All right, I got the list. I got the list right here. This particular box of samples was given to me by a political candidate. I don't know if he was looking for an endorsement or what, but he gave me all these pours, and after that I said thank you, and that's all it was. I didn't endorse. I didn't do anything. So thank you for the bourbon. I hope you don't feel cheated. You're a very nice man, and so is your wife. She's a lovely lady. All right. A little water on it. That's different. It pulled it out. Made it sweeter. Not getting that really nutty Walmart. That's funny. Walnut anymore. Now it is a little bit more like almonds, which is a little sweeter nut than than a walnut. Maybe a little fruit on it now too. This is going to be interesting. I'm anxious now to see what this is going to be like after it's set a little while. Because, I mean, I liked it, but now on water I like it more. Because it did open it up quite nicely. Didn't change the viscosity on the mouthfeel very much. It didn't bring that bloom back at all either, which is fine. But it did open up the flavors. Just 4 drops. That's all I gave it, just 4 drops. It doesn't take much sometimes. All right. Getting some of that sweet tobacco leaf. That's the first thing that came to my mind, is that sweet tobacco leaf. So that earthiness is still there. That cinnamon did pop a little bit more too. And that almond flavor. Darn fine pour. Not one of my top 5s. Darn fine pour, though. Especially with that water. Let's see what happens to it when you put some ice on it. Okay, first. This is a brand new, gorgeous ice sphere. It's got a little nipple on it. This is not one of the most gorgeous ones. There's some aberrations to it. But that's okay. Generally speaking, it's gorgeous. Trish is watching. Hey, Trish. How are you? So, and the other thing that people might be doing, like they could be watching the game. They could be in a food coma, visiting with family. They could also be, this is something I don't do, but I saw a lot of posts on Facebook today about people that are decorating for Christmas. Now, in my family, we don't do that on Thanksgiving. We wait until after December 7th. Why do we wait until December 7th? I'm glad you asked. So, you all know that December 7th is the day that lives in infamy, right? Because 1941, the Japanese, I was thinking of Animal House, the Germans. The Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor December 7th, 1941. My mom was turning 2 years old when that happened, and she always wanted us to wait to celebrate Christmas until we celebrated her birthday first. So my mom is going to turn 85. At this point, you know that she's been ill. At this point, it looks like she's going to make it to her birthday, which is a blessing and a surprise. Don't know how much time she has after that, but she's hanging in there. Some of you may know. Yeah, I'm not going to get into it. That's the HIPAA laws, right? broadcasting to the internet. Let's tell them everything. Anyway, so she's going to be around. It looks like for her birthday. She'll turn 85, and so we have to wait to do the decorations until after her birthday. Finger stir. Let's see, gorgeous ice sphere. Caramel, if you have a degree. And now the finger stir. So I've got 3 of them in. I got 3 of the bingo elements in. This is now an official Bourbcast. All right, let's finish her up here. Took me back to kind of the original. The flavor profile, yes, it's colder. There's no bloom whatsoever anymore. And it took me back to that original profile and maybe a little further yet, into those cereals. Some of the stuff that made it special on water is not there anymore. That sweetness is gone. The cereal grain is really stepping up, and that walnut nut is back. The sweetness of that almond is gone. We're back to walnut. I can't tell you I like this on ice. Not at all. Nope. I don't like it. Okay. I actually got a little honey on that. I do like honey. I do be liking me some honey. All right, so it has a redeeming quality on ice. The first shot on the palate, not so much, but let's give it one last taste here. It's actually a little bit of a fruit note there, too. That black cherry came back. All right, it's growing on me. All right. So there you go. It's okay, neat. It's okay on ice. It tends to be better for me on my palate with a few drops of water. It just kind of opened it up nicely. It was good. And I can finish this here shortly. But first, you get to help me decide. Now, this is for the Facebook side of things only. YouTube, it's going to be too tough to track. And sometimes those views come in really late. So I need to know before next Thursday what I'm going to be drinking. And I'm going to give you a choice of 4. I got them written down here. All right, so. Okay. All right. I don't have anything to write with. There are 13 different pours in this box. And they're all marked, and they're all about this size. So I'm going to get about 2 drinks out of each one. And so this one is mellow corn. No, this can't be mellow corn. Craft aged mellow corn. Is that what that is? I don't see that written here. There's no number on it, so. Okay, all right. Anyway, okay. So, I'll have to go through it again just to make sure that I have this right. But, okay, so, you help me choose what we're going to drink. We're going to choose from the Elmer T. Lee, the Weller 12-year, the Boss Hog Samurai Scientist, and the Four Roses 135th Anniversary. So Elmer T. Lee, Weller 12, Four Roses 135th Anniversary, and Boss Hog Samurai Scientist. That's going to be a whistle pig, right? That is I think going to be a rye. I think the whistle pigs are all ryes. I think. I didn't care for the whistle pig tenure that I had, so I don't 100% really pay attention to whistle pig that much. Anyhow, so do your voting over this week, and then we'll come back next week and see who won the vote. And we're going to do this all month for December. It's all going to be you telling me what to drink based on the 4 samples, Santa's samples, that I provide to you. Okay, so again, Elmer T. Lee, Weller 12, Four Roses 135th anniversary, and the Boss Hog Samurai Scientist. Shala, you just got here, so I'm going to go back and do this again. Not the whole thing, because we're wrapping it up. We did the Old Elk. This is the small batch sour mash reserve. It's okay, neat. It's okay on ice. It shows a little bit of character with a few drops of water. Just 4 drops of water is all it was. Excuse me, it was decent then. It's okay, neat, and it's okay on ice. Big, gorgeous ice sphere. So now what I'm doing, Shala, is I am giving you the opportunity to vote on what we're doing next week. Hi. Hi. So I'm going to go through them again just so you have them, Shala. Now you have all week. People have all week to vote. And I'll put them on the Facebook page so you can vote. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can vote. Just go to Facebook to do it. Facebook.com/beautifulbourbon. Go there, like the page. See what I did? Like it. And then you can vote on the poll. And the 4 choices, once again, are going to be Elmer T. Lee, Weller 12, the Four Roses 135th anniversary, and the Boss Hog Samurai Scientist, which is, I believe, from Whistle Pig. So those 4 are your choices. You tell me what you want me to drink next Thursday. You have a week to make this vote, and I'll put the poll up on Beautiful Bourbon when we're done with the Bourbcast, okay? Thank you for joining me on Thanksgiving Day. I do appreciate it. I often try to extend my gratitude to you for spending your time with me. You could be doing anything else. You could be watching the game. You could be laying there with a food baby like I was a little while ago, listening to music, playing music. You could be putting up your Christmas tree. You could be playing with your grandkids, your kids. You could be doing just about anything else, and you're here with me, and I appreciate it. Thank you. Shala, Trisha, Luke, good to see you. Thank you for being here with us, and everybody else who showed up as well. You all have a great, what's left of your Thanksgiving. Have a great Black Friday. I haven't done Black Friday in like 15 years, maybe 20 years. I have no desire. There was a point that I would go out just so I could people watch. That got depressing. I'll be honest. People watching people on Black Friday? Okay. Don't do it. I mean, unless you want some punishment, don't do it. All right, okay. So, hey, again, have a great what's left of your Thanksgiving, and happy holidays.